This is a Headgum podcast.
Welcome to the downside. This is a place where we complain, we get negative. I haven't done a good synopsis in a while. Yeah. We have guests on, but it doesn't matter. We're just here to make you feel better that you're not one of the people in this room. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. I'm here with my co-host Russell Daniels.
Hi.
And good energy, good mood.
Yeah, let's just really calm things down.
It feels like we're watching golf. Right?
No, it feels like we're listening to golf.
Yeah.
And my guest is currently jet lagged from being in Mumbai.
Wow.
Where's Mumbai, Russell?
India. When did you get in?
3 days ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. What's the time difference?
It's 2 a.m. in my body right now.
Oh, wow. Still, 3 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That shit takes a while. And then by the time you settle, you have to leave. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Please welcome Veerdas to the show. I just started your special.
Okay.
I'm about 3/4 through.
Okay. All right.
It's simply time. It was. I watch specials in 3 minutes. If a comedian tells me they watched even 10 minutes, I go, "What? Thank you so much."
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's so many specials.
But we
these
did the
days.
same church in London. I was looking at the
cool.
filming.
Yeah,
It
Union Chapel.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I got to. You had nodes. And we're both musical theater background.
Oh, nice.
And so
fuck yeah. All right, now we go.
I saw it. I was like, oh my god, it's my biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
You live my biggest fear, especially in college. Did you ever get scared of having nodes?
No, but there was once during Titanic where I could tell I did something. And I'm more worried about this show because it's a lot more.
So for those who aren't singers, nodes are hardened calluses.
Yeah, they're like vocal cysts that have hardened up. Basically.
Yes. And it's very tough because your vocal cords don't you can't feel pain there, so these things can develop.
Yeah.
And you find out when it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
To heal them's a nightmare. And famously, Julie Andrews had nodes, and this is why you're so scared of them. Is they did surgery on her before the surgery was fine tuned, and she couldn't sing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Adele had him.
Adele had them.
And
Yeah.
got them back, got her vocal cords back in time. Whitney Houston never recovered because she never got that shit looked at.
It's pretty crazy because Adele is arguably a better singer than me. And
Well, let's debate it.
let's debate. Let's do a jubilee on that. I debate.
Set fire to the rain. Go.
But it's pretty incredible that someone who can sound so good could, because I've lost my voice before.
Yeah.
I probably lost my voice more than Adele, but maybe their chords were able to power through it. So how did you get nodes?
So I did the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, right? And that's 26 shows in 28 nights. And like you said, you won't feel it. You won't feel damage. You won't know when you've done something wrong. And it's a different kind of thing from like a sore throat. It is that when you have nodes, it's because your vocal cords won't close. I love how we're going medical like 30 seconds into this podcast. Fuck it. All right, cool. So the amount of air that you need to just say hello quadruples.
Mm-hmm.
So like 10 minutes of talking in, you can't form a voice. It's not a clear note. And you're exhausted. You just have no
Were you
stamina.
losing your voice a lot leading up to this?
No.
That's what's crazy
that's
to me,
scary.
Because
Yeah.
I scream on stage.
Yeah.
But you do sing. You did sing. Where do you think this? When I see you talk on stage, if we were to compare volume levels on stage,
Yeah.
I'm screaming.
Yeah, I'm much softer. I'm kind of chill. But what happened with me, okay, so this is what, I went to Adele's speech therapist, right? In London. Do you know The Incredibles? And there's that lady who makes the costumes for The Incredibles.
With the black hair.
With the black hair. Looks exact. Yeah, there you go. So looks exactly like her. This doctor called Dr. Ruth Epstein. And
Any relation?
I hope not. I went to
I'll get your chords back to a 15-year-old girl.
I went to an island and
Can you imagine they found out that's why they were all going there? There was a really good doctor there too.
Really good vocal coach.
Bill Clinton's voice was gone. He was mumbling. No, but she was like, I'll get you back. I got Adele back to the Grammys. I'm going to get you back. Don't worry. It was acid reflux.
Oh,
No way.
So
yeah, that does that.
Yeah, so I was intermittent fasting because I was shooting a thing right out of the Fringe Festival.
Intermittent fast. Oh, fuck. Okay.
So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd do coffee on an empty stomach. And that was acid reflux. And then I was over caffeinating and I did 26 shows. And I woke up and like nothing. It was just gone. It was broken.
So you think it happened in that span?
Yeah.
Wait, I do intermittent fasting and I drink a lot of coffee in the morning. Were you? Did you have pain? You had asked.
Is there any difference if you like before you have coffee, like drink a big thing of water or something? Like, would that be?
Yeah, and put some carbs in your stomach or put some fat in your stomach before you have coffee. Like
Okay.
do a teaspoon
Can't
of
have
peanut
coffee
butter
till
or
noon.
something, and then
If I get notes, how do I get on the Epstein list?
you go to London to Dr. Ruth Epstein.
That's awful.
Yeah,
It's
is.
always been a fear.
Yeah.
I've been checked a couple times, but to have it from acid reflux. Why would you intermittent fast always?
No, I'd started. I was working backwards from a shoot that was like for the special,
Yeah.
right? So the special was 6 weeks later, and I started intermittent fasting on the last 5 days of the Fringe, which is when your voice is kind of going anyway. Your voice is tired. You've done
Sure.
like 20,
Yeah.
23 shows, and I'm not even kidding. I had a voice the night before. I wake up in the morning and it's gone. So it wasn't even sore the night before. It's just two vocal cords had kind of gone whoop, like that, and just nodes had formed.
Okay, so you wake up, you have no voice.
I have no voice.
And you're hoping, cold.
Yeah.
And then when do you start panicking?
So okay, the story which is in the special as well is it's this arena in Mumbai that we're shooting the special at. So I wake up in the morning, we put it on sale, right? 20 minutes before I woke up. So I wake up, it's sold out in 20 minutes, and I have no voice. And I'm shooting my special in London at Union Chapel 4 days later.
Oh my God.
So I'm doing London first and then Mumbai. So first I get taken to this vocal doctor and we do the scope and he's
And you're going to do the special in 4 days.
I'm going to do the special in London in 4 days. It was supposed to be London and Mumbai.
Okay.
So he's like, you're done for 4 months. Like, even if you get surgery tomorrow, the recovery for surgery is 6 weeks of silence, 7 weeks of silence. Right? So now we cancel London.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So you cancel London.
We cancel London. We say we're pushing. But Mumbai's 12,000 people have paid the money, right?
Oh my God.
It's not cheap to rent a fucking arena.
No.
You know?
No.
And you're the first. It's the fastest it's ever sold out for anything. So there's buzz, there's media, and I'm like, I can't cancel this. So then, for 6 weeks, I shut up, and then I try anything. In 6 weeks, I tried Adele speech therapist, a fuck ton of steroids, homeopathy, Ayurveda, chakra healing, myofascial
Okay, let's
release.
go over the ones that you shouldn't have done. The homeopathy, what did you do?
I put these white sugar pills with God knows what in my mouth 12 times a day.
Are you a
Why
skeptical
not?
person, or was it just a why not?
I was so desperate. I was like, I will do anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so homeopathy, what were the other woo-woo things?
Myofascial energy release. So
what is that?
Okay, so I get taken to there's this I was in Copenhagen, right? And this massive, there's a joke about it, but this beautiful German man walks into the room, like 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyes. I was like, you deserve a Reich, right?
One Reich for you.
Yeah.
And he kind of, I'm just like a bitch in this moment. Like, I'm just lying down and he starts stroking my hair and he shoves his elbow into like my buttocks and starts to move it around. And swear to God, says, you have a sadness deep inside you, right? Your throat chakra is fully blocked, and proceeds to beat the shit out of me to the point where, like, and he's like, cry, release, cry. And I'm like, I'm fucking crying on the table for this massive German man.
Yeah.
So I hold it together and he walks out of the room. Bro, I haven't cried in like 5 years before this thing. I cried non-stop for 1 hour. The second this guy walks out of the hotel room, I just cannot stop.
Really?
He came to your hotel to do this.
Yeah, and like unlocks kneecaps, unlocks the sole of your feet.
Well, you mean he gave you a massage?
No, like
He beat
it
the
was
shit out of you.
assault. All right,
Yeah.
it wasn't a massage at all. And
Where were the tears coming? Was it everything? Like, do you
Yeah,
think he unlocked?
Did you feel like very released after he left?
yeah, I mean, look, you guys are theater kids, right? So you know how.
Yeah, this sounds fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll fix
Yeah,
my
right.
voice.
But you know how in theater sometimes a movement teacher will like apply pressure somewhere and then suddenly you can cry.
Well, when you're doing the what's that thing when they're like
Oh, God,
tremoring,
I hated
and people would
tremoring.
fake orgasm or you
And
know?
then really, if you looked at it,
Or
you were
cry.
like, you
No.
guys are getting off on this. There
Yeah.
are people.
Oh!
You basically, you put your legs up and you create some kind of tension in your muscles where you start shaking. So it'd be a group of 15 and 19-year-olds just like,
Yeah.
And
My orgasm was real, but
Yeah.
but
No, I believe
no,
it.
I just cried for a fucking hour, so I don't know if that worked. Then I had this energy healer. She was like, take your non-dominant hand and draw your thoughts for 2 hours. So she sat with me, and with my left hand, I'm trying to draw, and it looked like a serial killer's notebook, like just like looked like Jeffrey Dahmer's squibbles.
But when you're doing this, is there a part of you like, maybe? Or are the whole time are you going like, this is bullshit, this is bullshit, this is bullshit?
I don't even have the voice to protest. Do you understand? So I'm just silently going through all of this shit and kind of miming to them. And then 5 days before the arena show, the voice comes back. All right. Now I'm supposed to be tight. I'm supposed to have done 100 shows. And when you shoot a Netflix special, you're on. You know the show. Netflix came to me after my last special, and they were like, let's do another one in like 2 years. And then like a year later, they were like, what do you want the show to be about? And I was like, joy. Zero ideas in my head, right? And they were like, what does that mean? And I was like, I feel like, a stand-up is edge posturing, a joy posturing is edge. Let's just do an unapologetically joyful special.
Sure.
Just pull that out of my ass. And they're like, oh, that sounds good, right? But in 6 weeks, this show becomes about silence. So I'm rewriting punches and premises and kind of forming a structure in my head. So now there's 12,000 people and Netflix shows up and it's this whole show about silence, and they're like, this is not about joy at all.
Yeah.
And so then we had to shoot the seller to set context for,
How many shows did you get to do before the arena?
One rehearsal show.
One rehearsal show?
Where I couldn't do more than 45 minutes because my voice gave out. And so they were like, don't risk it, save it for tomorrow.
So your voice, did you get the notes back? Are they went down?
They went down. I had cysts. And
You
so
had
my cysts
cysts.
flattened. At some point in my life, I will have to have surgery. Wow.
Really?
I will. And
But why? If the acid reflux, they won't fade on their own.
They won't fade on their own. They stay. And she was like, at some point they'll flare up again, and you will have to have the surgery next time. So, I mean, I do like a theater 10-minute warm up before I go on stage, like a vocal warm up and all of that stuff. I do that. I'm trying to be careful now, but it's in my future. I will have to do it.
What about the acid reflux? Do you take something for it?
Yeah, I take like a omeprazole or whatever.
I can get on this shit right now. I'm doing the fringe. I'm doing the fringe in a month.
Is that coffee?
Yeah, this is my 4th fucking coffee of the day.
What?
With ice?
4th coffee.
Good luck.
I gotta get
God.
your German guy. I'll get an elbow in the buttocks.
It does
to
scare me,
fix
the
nothing.
vocal note. I mean, I'm doing the show right now and I'm screaming so much. And I just started because now that we're opening on Thursday, but we're in previews. Now that it's more locked in, I'm just starting to be like, okay, here I don't need to do this. Here I don't need to do this. Here everyone's screaming. I can pull back.
I have some more things I don't think you should be doing that I can tell you after the show.
Are you mic'd for this show? Are you mic'd?
No, I mean there's stage mics, but no.
But Russell's the kind of guy. I feel like I've lost. I used to lose my voice in or I was trying to be a tenor and I was a baritone and I'd crack. So I had to deal. I feel like you are one of those like the voices people be jealous of in theater school. Like, oh, he can just yell.
I can
and scream.
yell and scream in like a way that sounds like it would be painful, but oftentimes is not that.
But father time comes for us all.
But no. So I know, and so I'm trying to like be like, where do I need to do that, and where can I actually like pop up into a higher like because I can access my top thing, which is almost like doing falsetto, but like as a yell, but like and that feels much healthier.
My strange thing is, so my favorite thing in the world is a cigarette. I love a cigarette. I love smoking, and my voice, I feel like it's stronger when I smoke. And every single vocal person would be like, "You're wrong," etc., etc. But like, if I'm touring with my band, I smoke through the tour because my band's, a bunch of just fucking ruffians. But my voice never gives out when I'm smoking. I don't know why.
Well, my girlfriend's really stressed because being in Europe, I started smoking. I never really smoked. I love smoking. But I was in Turkey getting dinner. We were smoking at the table, and I have some cigarettes now. My girlfriend hates it.
Yeah.
And she tries to use the voice thing against me. She's like, it's going to ruin your voice. And I'm going to come back and be like, actually...
Adele speech therapist.
Adele speech therapist
is on call.
This is the downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
This is The Downside. If you want bonus episodes, join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. 3 bonus episodes a month, and then a bonus from one of our live shows. So 4 bonus episodes every month.
Yeah.
and give us a review on all the things, Spotify especially, 5 stars. Well, Veer, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're internationally known stand-up. I feel like I've done a show. I did a show at the Hollywood Improv, and you had to drop.
Yeah.
But it was clear that you'd been on the lineup because it was the most Indian audience I'd ever seen at the Hollywood Improv in my entire life.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, I'll go into the cellar, right? And when I first got passed to the cellar, all the cellar comics were like, "There's a lot of Indian people here today." and I was always a little pissed. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm more than the Indian guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want you to know my name a little bit,
Sure.
and to get some cred. So that took a while at the cellar for like comics to be like, "What's up, Veer?" Instead of, "Oh, the Indian guy's back."
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I apologize for starting that nickname.
Not at all. My favorite story, I told this to Mark Maron. This is, he had an early show with his band at the Improv.
Yeah.
And and then my show was later. Like I was doing a solo show at 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So I just walk into the Improv and I see Mark Maron. Who's Mark Maron? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's been that guy? And, so he's just like, who the fuck are you? I've never seen this many Indians in my life. So,
yeah, we've made eye contact a couple times before, me and Mark.
You and Mark?
Yeah. He hosted one of the galas at JFL.
Yeah.
And they have them do intros,
which are terrible.
which are
yeah.
terrible.
Worst intros ever.
I heard I don't give a shit. I heard Russell Peters, they had to tell him to take it down a little because he was roasting people for their intros, roasting their appearances, and someone said to him like, "Hey, you can't say that about her nose."
Oh my God.
But Mark Maron, for my intro, he said, we didn't run this. He goes, "This next comedian's half Italian, half Jewish, and twice as neurotic." And I was like, "Oh, that's my whole act." like no need. It was so weird. And I was like, "Mark, you know."
But do you think he wrote it? Someone just gave it to him.
No,
and
someone
just
gave
read
it to him.
Yeah.
But he knows. If I had to bring on Mark Maron,
Yeah.
and someone gave me the script, this next comedian, he's a depressed and cranky guy, Mark Maron, I would say to him before, "Hey, you don't want me to say this, right?"
But imagine really not caring about doing that.
I imagine he didn't care. I have no problem buying that.
Dude, when I went up, Howie Mandel introduced me and he was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, this comic can be found in a lot of delis."
Oh my.
How?
And when
God.
I say
When was
Delhi,
this?
I don't mean New York, I mean New Delhi. Veer Das. And I was like, fuck me.
Was this 1980 something? What year was this?
This was 3 years ago.
That's how we go back to putting the
Howie.
glove on your head. Dear God,
Howie.
it's better when you didn't talk. So I know you're friends with some of these people. I have to.
Me and Howie are tight.
You and Howie are tight. Do you ever see Howie's early stuff?
No, we talked about
it's
it once. I
alty
did.
as hell.
I saw like a 3-minute clip of it and I couldn't believe. Yeah, very alty.
I've been watching the Pee Wee Herman documentary.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really good.
What's it on?
HBO.
HBO.
Okay, all right. Cool.
Yeah, it's a wild life. It's just about him deciding to put away his being the character instead of who he was, and being in the closet, and then getting busted for the jerking off.
Big germaphobe. Oh, no.
Howie.
Howie, yeah.
No, if Pee Wee was fine, just
He was
slinging
fine.
it.
Paul was fine.
I had no idea you had such an acting background. I was a musical theater major. Russell was
I got an MFA.
MFA
in acting.
Nice.
But you I guess let's start there. You went to a Harvard program that was with the Moscow Theater
Arts
Company.
theater. I mean, before that, I went to Galesburg, Illinois.
Uh-huh.
To Knox College, which is fucking cornfield college, cornfield.
How did you wind up there?
They are this lovely, like, tiny liberal arts college. There is like 1,000 people all on campus, but like a diverse student body is really important. So they give you 95% aid. So I couldn't afford coming to the US, but I paid $4,000 a year
Wow.
So so you were at this point
in Delhi.
in Delhi.
Yeah.
And then how did you wanted to go to America?
I wanted to go to America. I followed a girl to America. She was in...
From high school?
Yeah, first year college. I came in my second year, but she got into Pace University, New York. And I was like, I will follow you.
And was she an actor?
No, she wasn't an actor.
Really?
And then she went up to Pace, and wasn't in her room for about 3 weeks after freshman orientation, and then found a guy and I got dumped. But by then,
we go back to that. So you're in Delhi. You're what were you using? Were you texting? Were you emailing?
this is landlines, man.
Landlines.
This is pre BlackBerry.
She's just calling her room.
Just calling her room.
She had a
She's
landline
not
in her room.
answering.
She had a landline in her room.
Will her roommate pick up and go, oh,
No,
she's still in the shower?
This is finally after 2 months, a dude picked up. And he was like, I'm so sorry, man. Like,
He said that?
Yeah, he's like, we met at freshman orientation. I thought she told you. And then...
my God.
And I was like, thank you, random Pakistani man.
It was a Pakistani bitch.
Oh my God.
So then, by this time, I've gotten into Knox College with no comprehension of how fucking big the United States is, by the way. That Galesburg to New York is still a long-distance relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, so in your mind, you thought you might be able to go there and...
Yeah, and have this relationship.
Sure.
And did. Got to America 4 months later, and we got back together.
Wait, so you had broken up, essentially?
Yeah,
Were you devastated?
absolutely.
Did you cry to the guy on the phone?
No.
Did you talk to her
Did
at
you
all
say,
in that
what do
moment?
you have that I don't?
No, I was like, it was like a fuck you, and we kind of had that conversation. And then,
brother.
no, I got to come to America, and then I got to have like my first semester at Knox I was free, and got to have some fun. And then I met her over winter break, and we got back together, and we were together for 4 years, long distance.
You saw her in winter break, you went back to Delhi?
No, I went to New York.
You went to New York to
meet her. We dated for 5 years. We were like best friends as well, and.
How did you your heart was broken? Did you keep calling? How did you get back in touch?
We called, and then we had this beautiful moment. This is Metuchen, New Jersey train station. I get off the train at 6 a.m. It's fucking foggy. She runs through the train station into my arms. This is pretty good.
Oh my God.
Reunion. We hadn't seen each other.
And then the guy came up and he gave you a big hug. He said, "We're all friends.
We're all good now.
This is pre-polyamory being a thing. And then for like 3 years, I used to do the Amtrak from Chicago to New York. I couldn't afford the flights, but that's a 17-hour train.
Oh my
Does it still exist?
God.
Yeah, and by the way, you will meet America. In the smoking lounge of the Amtrak.
Really?
On the 24-hour train, you will meet every kind of American.
Is there still a smoking lounge?
Dude, people would bang in the bathroom. They get smashed in the smoking lounge. The Amtrak is fun times.
I've
We
never
should
been on a
do
17-hour.
an Amtrak across the country as
Next
a
show we do in
Patreon
Chicago?
thing. No,
next
just like
show we have in Chicago. We'll take the Amtrak there.
Yeah, and film it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's still fun?
I think we can have fun.
Are we going to bang in the bathroom? We jerked off in the
knows?
bathroom one at a time.
I used to do this bit where I was like, the best part about masturbating on trains is you literally just have to hold it and the train does the you find new angles and shit.
Oh, that's funny. You were jerked off on a train?
No, but I'm not. I've never
Have
been
you,
on
have,
a train.
was that joke based on a...
Yeah, I've jerked off on a train, for sure.
Okay,
yeah.
now that you've said it,
I've
I've
never
jerked
been
off.
on a-
I jerked off once on a train.
What train?
It was
How long was it? 17 hours. You got it.
about 7 inches.
He says that like it's changed
With a question
since then.
mark.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then
It's
7
gone
inches-
down. Don't tell anyone. It used to be much bigger.
Yeah.
I swear. No, it was in Europe where that thing's more appropriate. I'm trying to assess like
this is
culture, like how
recently.
bad it is. No, not the recent trip. No,
Okay.
no. I've moved on. I was 21. I was on a train.
Yeah.
Sock, big sock.
Big sock.
My weirdest one was, this is when I was like 11 or 12, when I just found out how to jerk off.
Sure.
And
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
boarding school.
Oh, and you're doing it
And,
everywhere.
and nothing's coming out yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you're
sure.
kind of doing
Yeah,
the thing.
so you can-
The good
So
old days.
You
The
can
good
jerk,
old days.
you can jerk off anywhere, man.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, no, we know. We
There's-
all know.
There's no product, no consequence.
Yeah.
That's the best. Just one hand in your pocket, fucking
Oh,
at it.
yeah.
man.
Those good times.
You were at school?
Yeah, in boarding school.
Yeah.
So,
I was a ground humper, and so I mean, anywhere, vertical, horizontal,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't matter. If I could find a blanket, I'm sure I look back in horror, thinking how obvious it was that I was humping the ground. In my head, I thought I was being subtle, and I'm sure it was just like thrusting.
Yeah.
Poor teachers. So, you go to this school. You're studying theater there.
Yeah.
Where you grew up? So just tell me the full trajectory. Where you were born and then you
Okay,
moved and
so
you moved back.
Born in India,
Born in India.
but my dad gets a job in Lagos, Nigeria, in Africa, when I'm like 11 months old.
How far is that from?
So it's as far as America is effective. It's a
Sure.
long flight.
Yeah.
So you're going to Frankfurt and then down to West Africa. So parents are struggling in Africa. They spend 17 years there, but when I'm 8 or 9, they're like, he needs an Indian upbringing. So I get sent to boarding school in India.
And what did they mean? Like, what does India have? That
He doesn't know Hindi. One day we're going to go back. Lagos, Nigeria, at the time, this is like 85, 86. Not the best schools, in terms of there's like a British school and an American school that we can't afford.
Yeah.
But English language schooling isn't great at this
Yeah.
moment in time. So they're like, let's send him to boarding school in India. So I go at 9 to boarding school in India, being the kid from Africa, which is fun.
So how did you know how to fit in? Had you been to India on trips or
I'd been
was
to
it?
India on trips, and it was, my boarding school was like an ex-British military academy. It looks like Hogwarts. It's the most beautiful campus you've ever seen.
Yeah, because
Like, so-
when I was in London, I did see a grade walk by, and you're like, yeah, it looks like Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Their uniforms
Yeah.
are very.
Yeah, but it's pretty democratic in that there's no cool kid with the cool fit, right?
Sure.
You have the same night suit, the same slippers, the same day uniform, the same evening uniform. So no matter where you come
Day
from,
uniform and evening uniform?
Yeah.
You're changing what, before dinner?
So you get up and you march to breakfast, and then there's a day uniform until 2 p.m. And then you have a sports uniform because 2 p.m. to like 5 p.m. is sports.
Yeah.
And then at 5 p.m. you get into your there's study time from 6 to 7:30, and then you go to bed.
It's a lot of laundry.
Yeah.
How,
No,
yeah,
you only
that's-
do laundry thrice a week in boarding school. You bathe thrice a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you bathe
that's
thrice a week.
that's not enough.
This
bathing.
is up in the hills in India where there's no running water or anything. Like my boarding school is
Oh.
literally just a hill. One of the most beautiful campuses you will ever see. But it's, there's a bugle that wakes you up in the morning at
Wow.
5:30. You do physical training at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's
Is it,
pretty,
very, is it very secluded? So you're not
Very
near a
secluded.
town.
There's all
really?
boys,
this is boys and girls.
boys and girls.
So it's a hill with a small valley, and like girls are here and guys are there.
Wow.
And then you kind of have to walk through the school to get to the
what
girls.
grades does this cover? The whole school?
Grade 4 to grade 12.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That seems kind of cool. I would have. It's like I went to sleepover camps, and so like it was
But
fun.
then you're just there
Yeah,
forever.
it's that, but with a lot more violence.
It's like
Really?
it's a little like a nice prison, kinda. Like,
Kinda,
Sure.
But it's also, I went young. I wouldn't send a kid at 9. I'd send
Yeah.
you at like 12, 13.
Yeah.
When you know who you are a little bit more. Because you're 9 years old. You're in this massive, British dormitory, which is these long buildings with the rafters and the roofs. And there's 45 beds in a row. And each bed has a little locker next to it.
Yeah.
And then at night, you can just hear multiple boys crying, because they miss their home or they miss their mom, etc.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of. Have you seen The Holdovers? Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very reminiscent of like that visual milieu is my boarding school. It's cold. It's homesick boys.
And were you homesick?
Very much so. I tried to run away 3 times, but my parents were in Africa. So where the fuck was I
where
going?
How
would
far
you
would you
gonna
get?
go?
Where did you go?
Get to the town that was like 25 minutes away walking, and I had these bastard friends who would see me off and wish me best of luck. They'd be like, "Yeah, man, you're
Yeah.
gonna make it."
Yeah, what was the plan?
And then a teacher would find me in the town and be like, "Get the fuck on the bus and get back to
Oh
school."
God! Would they be out looking for you? They were like, "Oh, Veers ran off again. Send a
Yeah.
search team after him."
Yeah.
Were your parents pissed? Did they say, "Stop doing this"?
Yeah, I've told this story before, but I think it'd be interesting. So, I didn't like it. Some kids are meant to be institutionalized. I did not. Well, I was not one of these guys. And this is committing to the bit, if you will. We went for hikes and camps one year, and one of my best friends got appendicitis, right? And it almost ruptured, and so we had to come back early. But like my memory of what he went through was that he just ate ice cream for like a week in the hospital. I didn't know what appendicitis was.
Sure.
And the next week, the next year when I came back to school, I had like a Monday test, like a Monday quiz that I hadn't studied for. And I just walked into the infirmary and I was like, it hurts here, right? And they were like, okay, we're going to admit you. The next day they're like, is it still hurting? And I'm like, yeah. Now, keep in mind, there's not a proper hospital for miles and miles, right? This is a basic, you know, clinic. And I just hung out, made ice cream. I'm a decent actor. And then, like 4 days later, they're like, "You're sure it's still hurting?" So I was like, "Yeah." And now I'm in an ambulance, and I'm being taken down to Chandigarh, which is 2 hours away. Now I'm starting to shit bricks, right? And the doctor's like, "You're sure it's still hurting?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And now I'm naked on an operation table, and there's two surgeons looking down at me, and they're like, "You're sure it's still hurting?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "All right, count from 1 to 20. I count from 1 to 20.
Wait.
I black out. I open my eyes, and it's 29 hours later, or whatever the hell it is. And my mother, who lives in Africa, is sitting on the bed next to the hospital. And she's like, "Your appendix wasn't fucking hurting, was it?" And I was like, "No."
Oh,
you just got your appendix out?
I got my appendix out.
Wait, but that's so crazy because I got my appendix out. Mine did rupture. And don't they...
Russell, did it really rupture?
It did.
You just want some
I was
ice
in the
cream?
hospital for a week. And also, they do not give you ice cream. I had to eat ice chips for the first 4 days. It was a nightmare.
We got the ice cream before the surgery.
Well, no, I was throwing up because it had ruptured. And anyways, but isn't there blood work that they do to like be
This is
like? Oh,
19,
right.
Fucking there's dinosaurs roaming the planet at this moment in time.
Okay.
And so I woke. I still have the scar, and then the doctor came in, and he's like, "Your appendix wasn't hurting, but I'm not going to tell anyone." And they removed it anyway.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
Now it won't
So
rupture.
they looked at it and they said, "This is a perfectly fine appendix."
Yeah, I think they opened it up and they were like, "Oh fuck, this kid has been lying."
Do you think...
You really committed.
Were they
Wow.
suspicious? Like, do you remember being like, "Oh, it hurts," or were you like, "No, it hurts. It's real bad."
Well, dude, when I came out of anesthesia, it fucking hurt for the first time. That's where it hurt.
How did your mom? Was she pissed?
She was pissed, but then I think everybody kind of agreed that a child doesn't do this in an environment where he's happy.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to do.
So the boarding school was like, maybe he shouldn't come back. I don't think he...
The problem was in the brain.
Yeah, exactly.
He would rather have a surgery than just have to be here. Yeah.
That's wild. Do you think you fully like grasped what was about to happen?
No, but I know now in retrospect, I'm like, that is something subconscious that is just playing up, because I'd never just really committed to a lie,
Yeah.
12, 13 is very young to really commit that deeply to a fucking lie.
Yeah.
And halfway along that journey was fear, but
Does it matter? Like you've just one appendix?
Well,
Yeah,
now
no, I don't.
we have
It's
zero.
gone.
You have zero.
Zero
We
appendixes.
have one between us.
Yeah.
What does it do?
Nothing. It does nothing for
It
you.
does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Why do we
only
have
can
it?
blow up at one point and cause you pain. So
Then why do we have it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Oh,
But mine
God.
was bad. It fully blew up, and I had to have like a tube out of me for like 2 weeks with dripping pus because it had like fully blown up and was like
Yeesh.
infecting my
And you were
body.
how old? It happens when you're young?
No, it can happen whenever, but it happened when I was 12,
Oh my God.
11 or 12.
The trick is go when there's nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just get in there early.
Oh.
So you are not going back to the boarding school?
I don't go back to the boarding school. I get sent to live with my grandparents, who are because my parents are still in Africa, right? So
Yeah.
I get into Delhi public school, which is like day school. So now I'm with my grandparents, who are lovely, but they're 60 whatever. My granddad's a retired diplomat,
Sure.
and so now you have this hormonal kid who's living with just two old people, and just running.
Dad's side or mom's side?
Dad's side.
Were they fun?
They're great.
They were?
Yeah, they had reached escape velocity of giving a fuck about propriety.
Mm-hmm.
And so my granddad is a pretty decorated diplomat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was nice to kind of be around him, and his my storytelling comes from him.
Really?
Yeah, because he what I love about a good storyteller is that they don't tell a story, they remember a story that they happen to deliver.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference, right? Between
Elaborate. Tell me more.
Well, I mean, we do storytelling in stand-up,
Yeah.
right? But when Pryor told a story, with the act outs and all of that stuff, you could visually see the guy accessing emotion
Yeah.
rather than projecting emotion,
I agree.
right? So that's the kind of storytelling I like, where there's not a lot going on, but in the eyes you can see somebody remembering something.
For sure.
And then whatever comes out is natural. And you feel like they deliver it differently every single night.
Yeah.
And then there are the other comics who really precisely plan a story. But then it's like, and then you can smell the he's done this 1,000 times.
Yes.
And you're less uneasy when you're watching the second kind of comic.
Yeah.
But like when I'm watching a Chappelle or when I'm watching a Pryor, etc., I feel like I don't know what's going to happen next. And I feel like at some level that's because he doesn't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So my granddad would tell these stories. He lived in Bhutan and he lived in Russia, and I'd watch this guy remember a story and pause for memory, not pause for dramatic effect. And
I like that.
So that's kind of where my approach to storytelling comes from.
And what was your comedy intake like in India? What's playing on TV?
I didn't really get into it until I got to Galesburg, Illinois. Like when I got to America, the Comedy Central half hours had just started.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And then
Who's in that time for you? Like those.
Colin Quinn got his first half hour. Around that time, the first wave of. But then I saw Carlin a bunch of times. I'd never seen a Carlin HBO special.
Sure.
So I saw all of his. I saw Raw and Delirious, and then I saw all the Pryor work, and then there's a British comic you guys might not know called Eddie Izzard.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Right. So that's one of my favorite genres of comedy. Is a comedian who makes you feel like he just made it all up.
Sure.
But he's rehearsed everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that kind of a comic. So I got exposed to all of these guys, and I'm in drama school, right? I'm in an acting program where we are emoting with our shoulders and sitting in a circle and crying and doing all of that shit.
Did you like it?
I liked it, but I didn't come to America to be an actor. I came to study econ, and then first semester there's this guy called Ivan Davidson, and he was my beginning acting prof, and he called me in and he was like, I say this to one kid every 6 years, like, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to be on stage. So I'm going to make you my TA for beginning acting. And I was like, I'm econ. My parents have sent me for econ. I go to winter break to the girl. And I get a call from Ivan, who's the head of the theater department, being like, we're doing War and Peace next semester. It's a rep term. And I'm giving you the second lead without an audition.
Wow.
And I get back to a bunch of pissed off theater kids.
Oh, I would be fucking livid.
Right, there you go.
Can you imagine?
Because this random Indian guy's playing Andre in War and Peace. And I did this rep term and then just never looked back. But then last year of college, I've done Arms and the Man. I've done, Winter's Tale. I've done Titus.
I did Winter's Tale. Who are you?
I was Leontes.
I was Camillo.
All right. I've done Titus Andronicus.
Sure.
Done all of this stuff. And then...
Shakespeare.
No, I love Titus.
Yeah?
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, it's so violent.
Is that the one where the guy's arms get taken off? He spells something with his mouth?
Things.
Yeah, that's his Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Titus
yes,
Andronicus.
it's so violent. And like they serve the kid to the mom at the end. Oh my God.
They serve the...
Yeah, he
in a
kills
stew?
her. Yeah, or like a pie or something. Like it's very like Sweeney Todd. Yeah.
It's like South Park.
Yeah.
And I read a show. I read a stand-up show in my last year. It's called Brown Men Can't Hump.
Yeah, I saw that. Brown Man Can't Hump. No, I did something similar where, like, when I got into stand-up in college, I did 5 minutes at a Caroline's class and came back to college. I did an hour.
Same.
It was my hour, which I still have the footage of. I don't think I could ever put it. It was... Every time I'd had sex up to that point made it into that hour. Yeah. It was like... The time I thought she was squirting, but she peed on me. It was my first time going down. It was so dirty.
Yeah.
And what was the hour called?
It was probably when I was still like calling things like sex, drugs, and anxiety, and not a lot of drugs. Like it was
with the ...
Yeah, there was definitely some ellipses.
And not a lot of sex or drugs.
Yeah, and
anxiety's underlined and bolded.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And it was me and two other people who were getting into stand up, but I like did an hour for friends, and I was like, I'm a god. I have an hour.
And then you come into a real club and you find out how comedians feel about theater kids.
What was yours about? It was sex, I assume, with the humping?
A lot of sex, airport stuff, inside jokes about friends, frat boys, just the...
Yeah.
The American...
How big was the audience?
800 people.
That's much bigger than I did.
Oh my God.
They all knew you?
The college showed up. There's nothing to do. You're in Galesburg, Illinois.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
1,200 kids.
I had a bit about the cafeteria where it was like, if you didn't have your card for the fourth time, they wouldn't let you in. And I was like, it was like this big act. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a thief, and I sneak into a college for 3 years for one free meal. And it was like a whole chunk that would only work, and it didn't even work at that cafeteria.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah. I got laughs, and then I did I think 4 open mics in Chicago, and really just found out who the fuck I was not. You know.
How jarring was it? Were you... I went through a long phase. I didn't start stand-up for a long time, and I think it's because I did that. I did like a couple bringer shows at Caroline's where I would crush, especially because it was a bigger stage. I could be theatrical,
Sure.
and those were my strengths. And then I would do these little shows at the Creek and the Cave, and I'd go like, I truly in my head I said, well, my act is more for like packed rooms.
Yeah.
And that was truly the
I'm
reason.
meant for
you need to-
arenas, and I'm just having to deal with the creek in the cave right now.
Yeah.
You need to move to India. Every room is a packed room.
Yeah. Hey.
There's no audience. There's no bringer shows. There are just shower shows.
I'm
in
gonna go
India.
next. I'm gonna go next year.
Dude, you gotta come.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
What do I? Okay. So have you got in trouble before with it was Two Indias?
Yes, it was a speech called Two Indias. Yeah.
Two Indias.
Yeah.
And you did the Kennedy Center. You put it online.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does it mean? I'm very curious. So I recently did a show in Istanbul,
Sure.
and you know my mom and my stepdad, long divorced, both called me separately to be like, be careful, and you know, just a loose.
Yeah.
And so when I landed, I talked to the booker, and I said anything I shouldn't say. He said, no, don't worry about it. Just so you know, for the second show, there's going to be the call to prayer in the middle of the show. And I said, can I joke about the call to prayer? And he was like, yeah, say whatever you want. And I like looked at him. I was like, can I say whatever I want? Like, are we really talking? And he said, whatever you want. I had a great time. Made a video. Showed him the video because I wanted to put Turkish captions on. He said, do not put this video online. Someone was recently stoned to death here for drawing Muhammad, and it was like in Istanbul. You could say whatever you wanted. Outside of Istanbul was where you had to be more.
Yeah.
And you know, it was shocking because when I was there, I really felt he gave me assurances when I performed that it was fine. So I'm going to all these countries next year. I'm hopefully going to be doing Singapore and Tokyo and like so what. I honestly don't know a lot about India at the end of the day.
You'll be fine. I mean, I had a similar experience in the Middle East where I did the Qatar Comedy Festival. And it was and Maz Jobrani and Nimir. Do you know Nimir?
No, I don't know Nimir.
So they're both really popular locally. And they got an Indian guy. And they were like, yeah, you can say anything. And I was fine. And I pitched them a new religion called Chrislam, which was... a mix of Christianity and Islam, right? And there's just a bunch of sheikhs
that didn't
in
go
the
well.
audience that did not go well. And so at the end of the promoter's like, I'm taking you straight back to your hotel.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, like Maz and gang are going to the after party. You are not coming to the after party. You're going back to your hotel.
What was the pitch? Because it sounds like a beautiful thing. Let's combine all the religions.
It had some stuff about cartoons, and then it had the Our Father who art in heaven turning into an Islamic prayer, and it had it was just a combo thing.
Yeah.
Didn't like it at all.
So, did you? Again, I don't even know. I know the drawing thing certainly with Muhammad. That's just because I feel like whether it was in France, that thing that happened there, or South Park got in trouble once. That's all I know.
And that's primarily what comedians have touched around it. Is the cartoon bit. I feel like every comic has kind of done that bit once.
Sure.
Yeah.
At this point, they're safe from it being joked about because it's just hack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's. I mean, if you really want comedians to not talk about something, you can't say don't talk about it. Just be like, that's so hacky. That's so hacky to make fun of Muhammad.
Yeah.
So in India, why did they get mad at you? I mean, your speech at the Kennedy Center, your comedy, it was very critical of India.
It was in equal measure, like the purpose of it was here's the dark and here's the light, and we need to remind ourselves what's beautiful about ourselves and head towards the light. So it's very much a speech about duality in equal measure.
Yeah, to give people a sense, one of the lines, I believe we praise women during the day and gang rape them at night.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it went for the gullet.
It went for the gullet, and that bit taken just as a solo bit is far more inflammatory than the context of the piece, right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened, right? So
was that the line?
that was the line.
That was the line in the cut.
It's one of like 15 videos on my YouTube channel
that
I've done all across the world, right?
Yeah.
It's new material. I wrote it at 2:00 that afternoon, which is why I have a paper in my hand.
Yeah.
Right. And I put it up thinking it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe the lesson is don't use the Kennedy Center as your open mic and work your shit out a little bit better first. And then I put it up, and exactly somebody took that line out of context and just posted it on a news channel's thing. They put it up, and there were 14 police complaints, and I trended for about 10 days.
Does someone call 911 and say, "Officer, my computer screen"?
No, so we have it's actually a good system where in India for hurting religious sentiments, which is complicated in India. There's many more religions, and it's very diverse.
Yeah.
You can walk into a police station and you can file a police complaint. Now, it's on the policeman to summon, have a few conversations, and decide whether they want to turn that into an investigation. So it's just a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 14 police complaints in 14 different states, but 14 different policemen did a little bit of research, and they were like, this is stand-up, and we have much more important things to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but process is the punishment. It's not punishment.
Sure.
So having to deal with that shit takes 8 months off your life, right? Just legally. And, you have to turn your phone off for a little bit. And
Sure.
What
was what did they bring you in for questioning?
Yeah,
Did
I made some statements and, written statements, etc.
Did you have to say, did you have to grovel?
No.
No.
Were you getting threats and things like that? Yeah.
And then, the way to look at it is a news cycle is 9 days.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're a distraction for 9 days. You shouldn't be on the news.
Yeah.
Other shit should be on the news.
Of course.
But then for other shit to not be on the news, someone needs to be on the news. So you're on the news for 9 days, and if you can shut up for 9 days, it'll go away.
Sure.
Right? And most artists scream into the void in 9 days. Like, no, what I meant to say was, etc. And then you give yourself another 9 days.
Just praying for like a Coldplay couple something to distract everyone away. Yeah.
My lawyer was really good. She's like, just shut up for 9 days.
Yeah.
And I did. And on the 9th day, like a tap was turned off. It just went off.
Was there any moment, did you think, oh, am I not going to be able to perform in India again?
I wasn't able to for 7 months, 8 months.
7 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that upsetting? Was it feel like, ugh?
What I mean, the short version of it all is I turned my phone off for 4 months, and then 2 weeks after I turned it back on, I announced a world tour, right?
Yeah.
And no venues booked or anything like that. Just kind of like, fuck it, world tour. Let's go. And we called it the Wanted Tour, and we sold out in a day, right? And then came back to India 6 months after touring the world. Did that. Turned it into a special, won an Emmy, and it all kind of came full circle.
What was it like watching American comedians get so obsessed with talking about cancel culture in an American sense? When I feel like
it was infuriating, right? It was fucking infuriating. It was a mix of amusement and envy and oh, look how cute you think you are.
Sure.
With people being mean to you on Twitter. Oh,
yeah.
Is that?
I mean, what would you say to them? What would you want to say?
I never say anything to them.
Yeah.
Because look, the worst. Rogan, I guess, said it, but the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, right? So. We don't exist relative to each other. You exist relative to where you live, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having people troll you on Twitter, etc., perhaps that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. But I can sit in India and laugh at that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not judging you according to me. I'm just kind of, I'm just like, that would be nice.
So how is India's stand-up comedy scene? Was it alive when you were younger, or it's just?
I mean, we had to build it in Mumbai in like 2008, 2009.
Were you part of that?
Yeah, we started the first open mic in Mumbai.
Wow.
And now it is one of the best places in the world to be a comic. There's 1.4 billion people. So, like, nobody's success is at the expense of anyone else's success.
Sure.
Right? There's so much opportunity, and there's such a large audience for every type of comedian. And because of the like, if you do Hindi stand-up, your first good video is looking at 25 million views.
God, I've been thinking about what second language to learn.
Dude, that's
and
the
maybe
one.
that's the most.
If you want to monetize a YouTube channel, that is the one that you need to learn.
I've been trying to explore doing subtitles in other languages, but like good ones where they try to work out the nuance of
or do like AI. AI will move your mouth in a different language and dub it in a different language.
My fans will love the AI.
Yeah.
Maybe my new fans in India will be more forgiving about the AI. So do you still feel like? I mean, are you part of the process of carving that out? Is there a Comedy Central India?
There is a Netflix India. My new special is commissioned by Netflix India, right? So
Yeah.
it's huge. And by the way, YouTube, we're the largest YouTube market in the world. So India, if you want to get discovered, YouTube is
Why?
where
That's
it's at.
why I'm going. Is I've done so many comments, and I'm like, I gotta.
Yeah, it's YouTube. That's the game.
Yeah.
In India. But it's just a young scene. That's all it is.
Sure.
All like in 15 years from now, like a Two Indias video will be fucking passé. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
It'll just be par for the course.
What do you think about the quality? Like I watched in South Korea, it was like their first stand-up special, and it was
Sure.
from one guy who did. I think they have a Saturday Night Live. It's called like Saturday Night Live South Korea or something.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I watched the subtitles from this first special, and you're like, oh, this is the beginning.
Yeah.
He was just like, men and women, we could be different. And you're watching, you're like, okay, this is starting to walk.
Yeah.
Do you obviously digest a lot of American comedy, which had more time. Do you ever look at like the newer baby scene and go, oh, it's still on the evolution? How is it different? Is it as mean? Is it as cynical?
Yeah, it's all of those things, and it's also Indian in that it's more poetic, and
Okay.
it's more emotional. I think the thing is, we don't like a jaded comedian. Just as Indians, we don't like that. So
Uh-oh.
right, maybe not jaded, but like a passive comedian. We don't like
Okay.
we don't like a talk at the audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have to connect
Yeah.
with an Indian audience.
Yeah.
So they got to see you bring it, and they will not judge you for looking like you're trying. That's what I love about my
Sure.
audience, right? So I think that's the big difference between kind of American stand-up and Indian stand-up is sometimes American stand-up can be like, I'm here, I'm casual.
I know.
I'm not trying too hard. I'm not working too
my
hard.
God.
Here are my jokes. If you enjoy them, you do. And if not, you don't. Right?
Yeah.
But India needs to be like, I'm fucking here for
Yes.
you. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's fly.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
So, and I think that connection in an Indian crowd you want to have. For no other reason than it will amplify the experience so much more.
Sure. Do you think will there be enough? I think the only comedian I've talked to, I think I talked to Jesselnik who went there.
Yeah, he did.
He definitely
He
said
did
like,
well.
yeah, did he do well?
Yeah.
I think he said it's definitely a different, even when I've been to Europe, there's certain countries like Paris, when I first started, it was like just not as loud.
Yeah.
It was not as reactive. And I just had to reset really quickly in my brain and be like, you're not bombing.
Yeah.
This is just a different culture there.
Oh, you are. Like my first show, every time I come to the US, like I'll do a spot at the Improv, or I'll do the cellar, the store, whatever. My first spot in the US, I always die.
Really?
I always die and I don't even know what it is. The next night, the same material, flying.
Sure.
Great. But some sort of a pace reset has to happen in my body. And also, I was on a lineup. I was at the store and I did well, but it was Shane Gillis, Jesselnik, Sebastian Maniscalco, Steph Tolev, one more person and me, right?
Yeah.
But it's their crowd, right?
Uh-huh.
guys, I walked out. I felt like Aladdin, you know.
Sure.
Right? Because he was a pretty broad mainstream American crowd.
Yeah.
I walked out and they were kind of like, oh, like, what is this?
Yeah.
This little Indian thing that's walked out. And I had to kind of be like, guys, this is going to be different for you, you know, a little bit. And I had to wait in my first 2-3 jokes.
Sure.
You know, really set them up.
That's
and
the
be
hardest thing with is like to not try to push it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, if I don't get them on that first, but you just let it gradually. Are there any, I'm just trying to, are there any Indian comics, you don't have to name names, where like, there's obviously the hacky version of like playing to the stereotype.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes as like a white comic, I go, well, white comics, we made money off these stereotypical jokes for so
80s,
long
yeah.
in the 80s. Let someone else be hacky. Let someone else like reap the benefits of being hacky for a change. Is there anything that you see and you go like, enough of this, please?
I mean, I don't like the Indian accent done by, you know, I don't like an ancient version of the Indian accent. You know,
So we're gonna cut that segment for later.
Right? So I'm happy for a white comic to do an Indian accent. I have no problem with that. By the way, you know, I do.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
But like, I do a Russian accent in my bit. I like accents. And by the way, you had a good 40-year run with my accent. Now let me do yours for a fucking bit.
Yeah.
And have some fun.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Here we are. But I don't like my accent being the punchline. I'd be happy if it was the setup. You know, but I've seen enough bits where it's like proper chill setup, and then for the laugh you do the accent. And then the weird pivot that an audience has to make with me is like, you'll notice it. I'll come out to an American audience and I'm talking in this accent, and they're laughing during the premise because it's kind of sing-songy to them, and they don't know. And then suddenly, if the punchline is a little edgier than they're used to an Indian person saying, they're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Sure.
Because I don't understand this weird flip.
Yeah.
So to me, please do my accent, but make it more than the punchline, is all I would say.
I get that.
You know, I'd love to see an act out where like a guy is talking to whatever convenience store owner, etc., but the Indian guy is not a laugh. And do the accent, please.
Sure.
But have the laugh come from somewhere else. I think that'd be interesting.
It's thank God I'm so bad at accents. It never could even be a
Thank
temptation for
God.
me.
I love an accent.
I wish.
Thank
Listen, if I could do
God.
them, it would be who knows, some early jokes, but I can't.
Yeah.
What's your Russian accent sound like?
Not good right now. I don't want to do it. I have to work on it a little bit, but I don't think, like, I get what you're saying about like a foreign comedy scene. You'll like, I shot a show in Prague 3 years ago, right? And so I was just staying in Prague, and I was depressed because, you know, you're on a TV show talking about fucking protein shakes all day, you know. And I was like, I need some stand-up, and I found this lovely Prague room in a place like in a youth hostel. They used to do stand-up. Right?
Sure.
And
I've done some youth hostel shows in my day.
These are American expats who are in Prague, kind of doing stand-up, etc. But you know, it can be some dead baby jokes, and you know, it can be some early stuff. But this really cool thing happened where my Netflix special dropped, my second one. I was in Prague doing this thing, and then I was writing my new hour. And this little group of like 20 comics, I went up and did 10. And then they called me and they were like, can you do 15 next week? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, can you do 20? Because we've never seen somebody professional build an hour. So now the room's getting packed because something interesting is happening in Prague.
Sure.
Right? There's a new artist in town. And then all of these comics start working bar, start flyering, start doing the door, just so we can all. So I went from 20 minutes to an hour 10.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it kind of became this scene thing, you know. And that room's still a banging room, but that can happen too.
I felt that in Europe, where I just think, you know, there's certain cities where people felt so appreciative.
Yeah.
They're like, thank you for coming here. And I was in Barcelona, and Michelle Wolf, I think partly lives there, but she also like is one of the co-owners of the Treehouse Comedy Club, and I was there for their second venue opening, and I thought, how cool to build a scene.
Yeah.
Also, Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Thank
I just
you.
want to make sure it got out there.
Thank you. What is it?
Comedy Clubhouse.
Comedy
Barcelona.
Clubhouse.
Comedy
But it was
Clubhouse.
so, I thought how cool it is to just to build out a scene. I think I'm so out of the scene in New York at a certain point. You know,
Are you not gigging here, or do you?
gigging here and there,
Yeah.
but like it's just like not what it used to be. Ty opens for me on the road, and
Okay.
like, you know, sometimes if I wouldn't even know how to tell him, you know, because what I did is so different now.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
still do New York, I still do the Cellar, but like, you know, sometimes the scene, especially when it's oversaturated, feels really hard to give any advice because if there's too many comics, it's
Yeah.
just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And everyone's treated poorly and no one's paid and blah blah blah. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like the idea of like finding a city and
Yeah.
visiting it more often. And
I like the balance of coming here to find out if I'm actually good.
sure,
You know, like I need to come into New York once every 2 or 3 months just to
yeah,
spend like 5 days at the Cellar and just kind of bomb or try shit, etc., etc.
is it ever hard to be international in the sense that sometimes it's a mix of also performing for bigger venues, but international, it's like your jokes have to almost over-explain so that everyone can understand what you're talking about. And this isn't to say that like you have to be like, this is what dinner is like,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean like everything is contextualized where like you has to make sense all over the whole world. That's a big responsibility.
But you can get creative with it.
Yeah.
You know, but the nice thing is like, look, there are enough comics locally who will give you the 5 things you know about Indians, and
Yeah.
you know, the convenience store, Harvard, engineers, doctors,
Sure.
Vivek Ramaswamy, right, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. You'll get that in New York. I fucking stood in a 3-hour visa line. I flew 29 hours. I stood in another 3-hour line at JFK. I'm gonna tell you some new shit. You know what I mean? Like
Sure,
I
yeah.
didn't,
Sure.
I didn't come all this way to talk to you about Vivek Ramaswamy. I do, but you know,
Yeah.
but I wanna, like, I always say this, but like, I don't give a fuck about Ohio. I don't know Ohio, but Chappelle gets to take you to Ohio.
Sure.
Why can't I take you to Mumbai and you come
Sure.
along? Right? Now, the nice thing is, the minute I do that, 2 things happen. One, an American is like, all right, fuck, new, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. But an Indian is like, I want to see how he explains this shit that,
Sure.
that only I understand. So now it's a test for me and the Indian crowd member, and it's something new for the American crowd member.
Mm-hmm.
But I maybe do it because I don't have a choice. Like, if I show up with this accent and I just say predictable shit to you about shit you already know, it will be a weird experience for your mental paradigm of thought, because you've only heard it from like, you've already heard it
Yeah.
from like local American comics. So with me, it has to be different. Like, I have this premise in the special where, and it's one that I loved, but it was always a hard sell.
Yeah.
Right? And it's still in the special because fuck you. I love this premise. Right?
Yeah.
But the special is, I think racists are a marginalized community. Right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Now understand what happens in the mind of a white audience member, right? When they're sitting there and like 5 comics from all across the world have just come in and be like, Americans are so racist and fucking racism sucks, and
Yeah.
my family went through racism, etc., etc., etc. And then suddenly this brown guy with an Indian accent is like, I feel really bad for racists.
Yeah.
Right? And the bit is that I think all of racists' good ideas have been culturally appropriated from racists.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So the 3 tag is, you know, racists came up with the N-word, hip-hop took it. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Racists came up with segregation, pickleball took it.
Uh-huh.
Right? Racists came up with slavery, Apple took it. Right? So that's the bit. But then all of a sudden, an American audience member is like, what the fuck is going on?
Sure.
Right? I don't know if he'd accept that from an American accent.
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand that
yes,
for sure.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
If you went on stage and said racists are a marginalized community, we'd boo.
I'd have some fans.
You'd have some fans, sure. These days,
They would be from very different podcasts,
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
assure you that.
that's fascinating. How do you look at American politics differently based on the politics that you know from India? I think one thing I certainly like. What's crazy traveling in Europe is I
Yeah.
can talk about American politics,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would joke with them that I don't even know. I don't know a thing about them.
Yeah.
And in a way, it makes me so. I think most of America, frankly, just like you lack not just historical context, but global context of how other governments are working. Like, how do you view what America's going through right now based on kind of where India's at?
Well, look, I don't think we exist relative to each other. We cannot. You know, we're an 80-year-old country. You're a much older country than us.
Sure.
So we're both experiments in democracy, but you have a lot more lead time.
Sure.
In your experiment, right?
It's coming to an end.
Well, having said that, you are the punch up in the world. You know, so let's be clear. Like, it is, you know, that's the richest country in the world, the strongest country in the world, etc., etc. So I don't know what this tantrum is that you're going through right now, but
sure,
I do think it is. There was an age of, I say this respectfully, American idealism, right? And it seems like you're more on our side now, where it's an age of American pragmatism.
Sure.
Right? Where it's like, oh, this is a terrible person. And we've elected this terrible person. But he does these 3 things that work for me.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
But I don't think you any longer need your president to be a good person. And I think you needed to before. I think you needed to feel like, yeah, good father, good husband, good this, good that. And with this guy, you're like, he's not great at a lot of these things, but I want these 3 things, and he does that. So it feels much more kind of pragmatic. And
is Trump overall popular in India?
I mean,
is there any overall sense?
He's funny as fuck, dude. He's
Sure.
hilarious, so he's entertaining. But no, I don't think he's that popular. You know? And also, what is it? 77% of the world right now is under some sort of authoritarian-ish regime.
Yeah.
Because of sort of strongman. It's religion without religiosity, right?
Yeah,
This strongman political worship. So that's just the world right now. Now,
Honestly, it's almost skewed my cynical views on religion, because I go, no, it's better when the leader is not alive to make selfish decisions.
Yeah, but
Like, it's better to have a dead figure that you can have multiple people project themselves onto, as opposed to one who can actually tweet a new policy.
Yeah.
I also think he's caught on to like a core fear, right? You have the big seat at the table, America, right? But I think you have to get used to the fact that it's a bigger table now. And that doesn't mean your seat is going away.
Sure.
You know, that it just means that this was a 3-seater and now it's a 7-seater.
For sure. I mean, I think that's how America feels with China, especially where there's just this kind of like, well, we got to keep China down. And I'm like, China's doing great, guys. Like, that's not a question anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just view another place as like bad. We got to make sure they don't stay power. But Americans have that. I mean, we were just in India or in anywhere. We were taught at me in school, we're the greatest country in the world.
Sure.
And like, part of me was like, does every country do that? There's no way they do that in Belgium. There's no way they do, because partly because it's too small.
Look at this chocolate.
Yeah.
We are
Look
the
at this
greatest-
chocolate.
We are the greatest country in the world.
But even not even insult to Belgium, but just like size-wise, America's big enough that you can, when you're so big, you can make kind of grandiose statements because you yourself are grandiose.
Yeah.
Does India, do they go, we're the greatest country in the world?
No, but we are getting more and more audacious. I like that. You know,
You like that?
Yeah, I do. There is an audacious modern Indian that America hasn't seen enough of, man.
But look at the consequences of audaciousness. It's a mess.
Sure, let's enjoy it for a bit, and then we'll come around to your shit, right? But you know, we kind of go abroad, and we're raised to be this model minority who has their shit together and keep your head down and quietly prosper and always shut the fuck up, never speak up about stuff. And that's more the diaspora that you find here. There is an audacious fucking Indian who's doing drugs and flawed and fucked up and isn't overawed by the West and doesn't show up with 1 suitcase in a dream, but shows up with 3 suitcases and maybe wants to go back home. You know, and I'd love for you to meet more of those guys because they're fun. You know.
Do you think the joke of an Indian wants to get into the arts, and the
Yeah.
parents go, "Oh, Maron." Do you think now that there's proof of having a career, is that fading, or is it still like?
I mean, it's still a privileged thing.
Sure.
You know, so I that doesn't cut across.
Are there musical theater majors in India?
Yeah, there are great art schools,
Yeah.
etc. And also, we are the largest smartphone audience in the world. So we just like India is the largest content platform in the world.
Yes.
So no matter what your new art form is,
Yeah.
you want to launch it in India because the amount of early adopters.
Yeah.
Do you know how many American YouTubers there are right now where their entire business model is reacting to Bollywood movies?
Is that
So
true?
wild.
It is. There are just across the world. It's in different countries. They just sit and react to Bollywood movies and get millions and millions and millions of views because Indian people want to watch like what a foreign guy thinks of their favorite movie.
What if we did a hard pivot, like a hard?
hard full
Just
downside
full
pivot.
on.
Yeah.
But they figured it out early, right? They're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the largest YouTube audience in the world. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll tell you, the first thing I'm doing with this, I mean, my clip's subtitled in Hindi, 100%. Let's go on to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has gotta stop.
This has got to stop. Do you have a thing that needs to come to an end? Big, small, personal, private, doesn't matter. Or we can go first.
Ironically, you're asking for a hot take, but like hot take videos on Instagram need to stop.
Okay. So tell me what's the difference between a hot tape and a topical video?
A hot take video is unfortunately never a hot take. You know, I've never seen someone say something new on one of those videos.
That's true.
Sure.
You know, the Subway takes guy or the chicken wings guy or the
Sure.
whenever,
All friends of the pod.
all
Yeah.
friends, but you know.
All friends of the pod.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Where sometimes people go like when I did my Subway takes, it was sometimes it's like you need to come with something. You need to come with a take that's like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
Like racists are
Marginalized
minority.
community.
But that's what stand up, like good stand up, I think, is like. Can you have the opinion that makes you go, whoa? You really think about it.
Yeah, but you know, like, okay, in India, we have paparazzi that sometimes do this thing where, you know, just to get clickbait, like a random actor who's like 23 years old, it's their first movie, you know, they're on a red carpet, etc., and they're just walking, and a paparazzi will be like, love the movie. What do you think of the conflict in Sri Lanka? Right? And you just see this fucking child just go, support the troops, goodbye, like, you know, and run the fuck away. That's what hot take videos feel like to me.
I see.
Yes.
You know, like, what do you think about the plight of the middle class, blue collar, etc., and you're asking someone who shouldn't and doesn't think about that shit.
Sure. And even
Yeah.
worse, sometimes they're the ones asking themselves the question.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to weigh in on this thing. And it's like, I don't think you want to.
Yeah.
I don't think you have an opinion. Yes, I do. It reminds me of that famous, it was like Miss America, where they were like, I forget what they asked her. They asked her about like the Iraq War or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
and she was like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's a tough. Yeah, I feel bad.
Did they ever
I
do
mean,
that?
she should have maybe known that they were going to ask about that at the time. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like that's not that crazy for those kind of competitions.
Yeah. What, did you have to deal with paparazzi? Because you did some Bollywood.
I
Did they ever ask you a quick, like, what do you think of the...
I get captioned, like, you know, if a big Bollywood star comes back at the airport and they're like, you know, she returned, she looked perturbed and she had her baby in her arms and they walked in. I just get like, Veer Das is back. I get captioned like COVID. You know what I mean? It's just like, he's back and that's it. So I'm not, my level of...
What would you... Okay, you're walking back and they go, Veer Das, what do you think about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
I support all troops all over the world. Goodbye. That's it.
I support both sides equally.
I would say I support no troops across the world.
And then I get a
That's
new
my
co-host.
answer. Yeah.
Russell, do you have This Gotta Stop?
Yeah, I had one and I forgot, but I have another one. This got stopped twice this week. A parent on the subway has put their kid next to me and, you know, squeezed them in, and they've been farting. Like the whole like
the child or the parent?
child
Or-
like farting like uncontrollably like non-stop farts twice.
How much anus control do you think a baby has?
I'm talking 9-10-year-old like
Okay,
the kids.
okay, yeah.
They've been like, have a seat. You know, they're like tourists. And this one kid, the other day, I looked at him and I was like, you better stop. He had a big smile on his face. He was probably 7 or 8, but it was
What was the look you gave him?
It
Got
was
the
from
kid.
125th Street down to West 4th, farting the whole time. Just like you'd have like 10, 15 seconds of nothing.
What's the look
And
you
then-
gave him? I'm the kid.
Okay, in all sincerity, I probably was like this. Like just a slight like
Mommy.
no, but like it was he knew what he was doing. I remember being that age. You can control a little more than that. You know? I remember being terrified of farting in public when I was a kid. And we're trapped on a tiny little subway car. I don't know. I just feel like it's disrespectful.
I was on a flight. Fuck, where was it?
Kids smell.
I don't think it was India, but it was somewhere, and we're touching down. And when the plane's touching down, I just see a kid strolling up the aisle, just casually, like parents are sitting back there. And as the plane touched down, like somebody grabbed this kid because he would have flown through the fucking thing, and then the mom got yelled at. By the way, you see videos from America of people getting offloaded from flights because they
Yes, they're crazy.
It's very popular across the world. And I always thought, like, you know how this could be a thing where like you think LA is just all fights all the time because of social media.
Yes.
And then you show up there and it's not quite the same thing. I thought this was that. I have been on 2 flights where people have gotten offloaded and gotten into fights with cabin crew.
What were they fighting about?
crazy.
I have no idea, but I was on, was it JetBlue?
Sure.
Right? And they were like, we got to offload you. We're overbooked or something. And somebody was like, I'm not fucking doing this. And they're like, sir, you need to control your volume. And he's like, I am controlling my volume. And they're like, sir, this is a situation. And then she gets on the thing and she's like, all right, we're going to have to deplane everybody because this guy's not listening. Now the guy feels guilty.
Yeah.
Right? So if you would all just get up and get your stuff from... Clearly just passive-aggressive emotional blackmail happening on a plane.
Brutal.
On a mic. And then the guy's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm going now. And, the people come in from the airport, the security guys take him off. I've seen that happen twice now.
Out of all my friends, you're most likely to be taken off of a plane.
For sure.
You fly the
I'm
most,
loud.
and also you get
I
really angry really quickly.
I get really angry. I think I know on a plane what to do. But when I went to Australia with my girlfriend, we used our miles, get first class seat, and it was an overnight, it was a red eye, and her chair was not working, and I couldn't go recline. At all. And
he couldn't switch with her either. It was so crazy.
We couldn't switch. I was imprinted in mine. And I was performing the next day.
And she doesn't tell any jokes. So
she doesn't tell any jokes. She can fall asleep during the show. I got to be up there. Blah, blah, blah. But that was tough. Sometimes a flight attendants, they can be nice, and then if they're kind of in a bad situation, they'll turn.
What are they gonna do? You know?
Press a button, refund the full flight. That's all I wanted.
Flying in America, I get to throw 0 tantrums.
Sure.
I have to dress like I'm buying the airline. I don't get to walk on a plane looking like that. It doesn't happen for me. I have to be like, my people will be in touch.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's the first thing we're taught when we travel abroad. We're like, dress your best. It will affect immigration, it'll affect customs, it'll affect everything. Dress up. So
really?
A brown man beard, for sure.
Yeah.
And not just America, by the way, Dubai. Man, there is a Dubai 3-hour customs check that is insane. And if you have piercings and tattoos and you look like me, they will undo the lining of your suitcase.
Wow.
They'll go in every sock, in every underwear, because they're looking for weed or they're looking for drugs.
Yeah.
And you do not want to get busted in Dubai on a drug bust, because you're going away.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So you have good control of your temper then.
I have no temper.
That's good.
With all due respect, America, you need new planes and new airports tomorrow.
My God.
Would I say that at the airport? Hell no. But you could do with some new airports, I do think.
New planes, new airports, yeah. Oh my God.
This has got to stop. hotel gyms, just give it up. Just give it up. Like, there's no point in doing this half-ass shit. I was looking at a new building and they had like a gym in the basement and it's like it's a dungeon. No one's ever used it. I'm like, just make that an apartment. I just don't do it. Just get rid of it. Don't have things that don't work. Don't have one 15-pound weight, one 30-pound weight. Either collectivize with other buildings, rent a nice gym collectively, but there's no point. It's a failure. It's a failure. All these hotels, some hotels have a nice gym. If you have no gym, just forget it. I don't need the broken treadmill. I don't need a room that's like faking it. Just, it's done.
The Peloton with no Wi-Fi.
What I do, because I like a Peloton. I love a Peloton. And I know now I go to the gym first. And if they have a Peloton, I don't get excited.
Yeah.
I have to. And before I set my workout, because I've done it too many times, I get down there, I'm all dressed up, ready to go. Doesn't work. Check the Wi-Fi. Check the seat. Check the chairs. Check everything. Because there's something that will be broken with that Peloton. Peloton needs to fix this shit. You give a hotel a Peloton, you need to do maintenance check once a week.
That's not the Peloton can't do that.
If Peloton wants to be a reliable service,
a hotel.
Peloton. If a Peloton was in every hotel, I will buy a Peloton because I'll have a track record and all whatever. Peloton needs to get on their shit. You're a failing company.
Dude, my manager was telling me about there's this treadmill with a screen. Where when you run. You get to like run through the Black Forest or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a live European who runs depending on where you want to go. Like they've mapped out. Like, just imagine that career path. Like his parents are like, if you work really hard, like one day you can run for an American.
I would love to be a Peloton instructor. I would love to teach a spin class.
I went to that, what is that fucking place called? I went to Barry's Boot Camp.
Barry's Boot Camp, yeah.
I'm too short and too angsty for that place. It was just
too dark and the lights
and too many beautiful people who had been there too long. Like, I feel like they now have their customers and newcomers aren't allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not doing this.
Barry's is a tough.
Yeah.
I used to do it more often, and now I can't.
Yeah.
I've lost the will. Barry's Boot Camp. Let's go into our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
You better count your blessings. Something we're thankful for. Russell, do you have a blessing?
Yeah, my blessing this week is Ginger Twinsies has been in previews, and there's been some Debbie Downsiders that have come to see it and said hello after. And special shout out to two that flew in from Florida last week. They came and saw Titanic when I did it. They also flew in and saw this, so it was nice seeing them. And if you're I'll go right into plug. Ginger Twinsies is now open. Come see it at the Orpheum Theater 8 times a week.
My blessing was going to be getting to see you in Ginger Twinsies.
Oh, thank you.
You're
so close.
I was second row. I forgot how intimate the theater was, and we sat there. And Douglas texted you. Were in the second row, and you texted back. He said, "Gianmarco got tickets for second row." You texted back, "What the fuck is wrong with him?"
I mean, you come out and you're like right there.
Yeah, that's. I cannot have people I know anywhere in my life.
I know. And Russell, the episode before, had talked about an audience member who didn't laugh enough to his liking, and how he created a backstory. And so the whole show, I'm just like, I'm on. I'm smiling. I'm making sure.
But when I knew where you were, I was like, I'm not gonna look at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was chucking it
So
up.
sorry,
I was slapping my knee.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were hitting a mic.
I had a female author who would show up to, and she's like kind of like our. Who's the lady who used to write all the erotica? But
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Look up erotica female.
Like the number one seller of all time.
Something Collins.
Yeah.
Right. What's her name?
Jane Collins?
No, Jody or something Collins. My grandfather, I feel like, used to read her smut books. Collins. Put Collins in.
We'll keep talking while he searches.
Well, I don't have. Sorry.
This lady is like our local version of that, right? So just
Jackie Collins.
Jackie Collins. There
Yeah.
you go. So kind of like our Jackie Collins, and she'd buy front row seats to my shows, and never laugh. Right. So she just sit there and. Right.
Brutal.
And so now I'm doing the show for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is no
Yeah.
audience. There is no theater. You are the show, right? And the first time I was like, I guess I wasn't for her. And then she came to 3 shows. And like, I would just fixate on her the entire fucking show. And then at some point I was like, ma'am, why do you keep coming to this shit? And she's like, oh, I just don't laugh. But I love your stand-up. And I'm like, do you know how rent-free you have lived in my head
Yeah,
for so long?
That's crazy.
I'm not a big laugher, and it's tough. I mean, I just know someone will be like, sit close or whatever. I'm like, you don't want to see me,
Yeah.
and it's not an offense. I just don't have joy in my heart.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You're a good laugher.
I am.
But then sometimes someone's a good laugher. When they don't laugh, you notice that even more.
If I'm in the back of the room.
There. I was at the cellar last night in the Pussycat bar, and I have 2 college friends, and they were like, we're coming to see you tonight. We bought tickets. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
This is new shit for tourists. This is not where you come and see me.
Sure.
You know?
It's tough. People want to come, and I'm like, you don't have to do that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we want to. And I was like, okay, please don't.
Yeah.
Do you have a blessing?
Yes. I dropped a special. It's called Full Volume, and it opened at number 3 on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Amazing.
So I'm happy about that. And then it's kind of cool. But on the way here, there's a massive Bollywood star called Hrithik Roshan,
Mhm.
right? Who's probably the most beautiful Indian man you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And just legitimately action hero, romance hero, like massive star. And he saw the special and he was like, best comedy special ever. And I was like,
that's nice.
hey, that's kind of cool. You ever meet him, it's like looking at Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just, you realize that there's upper biology in the world that we're not a part of, and he's upper biology.
He could be the Jesus for your Chrislam.
There you go. Yeah.
You know. So people should watch your special. Where else can people find you?
Veerdas on Twitter. That's on Instagram, and then the Veerdas on Twitter, because Veerdas was taken. I'm not adamant, so just put that out.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you said Ginger Twinsies.
Ginger Twinsies. Follow me on Instagram at Russell J Daniels and come see Ginger Twinsies.
And your show, your next concert isn't open to the public yet.
Oh, but this will come out after.
It'll come after.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited to see your concert.
Yeah.
You can find me everywhere. I got a show coming up at Fire Island. I'll be at the Edinburgh Fringe. We just added a show there. Then I'm back on tour in September. Lots of dates, all at the link in bio. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside, and leave us 5 stars on Spotify. This is The Downside.
That was a Headgum podcast.